So let's start with time wealth. Time wealth is fundamentally about freedom to choose how you spend your time, who you spend it with, where you spend it, when you trade it for other things. It is about an awareness of the finite, precious nature of your time, of time as your most important asset. The question that I love to ask people, young people in particular, is would you trade lives with Warren Buffett? He's worth $130 billion. He has access to absolutely anyone in the world. He flies around on a Boeing business jet. He's got houses all over the place. But you wouldn't trade lives with him simply because he is 95 years old. There's no way you would agree to trade the amount of time that he has left for all of the money that he has. And on the flip side, he would give anything to be in your shoes where you are today. He would give up every single dollar that he has to have the amount of time that you have. So you know, in that question and in that articulation, that your time has quite literally incalculable value.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, on a daily basis, how much of that time are we really wasting? How much of that time are we spending scrolling on our phones, comparing our lives to other people, looking, feeling jealousy, feeling envy, wasting it on these low-value activities, disregarding the truly precious nature of that one thing that we can never get back?
Dude, I love that Warren Buffett example because you mentioned, I think if you're like 25, you're, statistically like a 2 billionaire in time. You have 2 billion seconds left or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy math on time, it like puts numbers into perspective. 1,000,000 seconds is roughly 11 days. 1,000,000,000 seconds is 30 years, which just like breaks my brain sometimes because we don't think about how different those two numbers are. It's like insane, 30 years. But yeah, when you're 20 years old, statistically, you have roughly 2 billion seconds left. When you're 50, you have roughly 1 billion seconds left. Probably more than that, now that longevity science is improving. Maybe you expect to live to 90 or 100. Maybe it's a little more. But roughly speaking, you are a time billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
That idea that your time is your most precious, valuable asset. So the call to action there is to treat yourself like one. Recognize that time is the most important asset to be allocated, that is the actual atomic variable in your life that you need to play with and actually take advantage of.
Yeah. And the reason I love this book so much is because, what you just said to us, it hits us in the heart and we're like, wow, I need to value my time. But then you're like, here's how you do it. And so it's not just, hey, have this perspective of your time matters. It's like, let's do some exercises to see what you should spend your time on. So I want to start with the one that was insanely impactful for me, it's from Warren Buffett, the 2-list exercise. Can you go through that?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite stories. So Warren Buffett had this private pilot named Mike Flint, and the two of them were on a flight, and Mike was bemoaning the fact that he had all of these different priorities in his life, and he couldn't figure out what to focus on. And so Buffett asks him to write down all of his priorities on a piece of paper, all his goals and priorities. And he writes down 25 things, and he hands the list to Buffett. Buffett says, okay, now go circle the top 5 things on this list. Circle the 5 most important things in your life. Focus, goals, priorities. Flint takes like 20, 30 minutes, really challenging, circles the 5, hands it back to Buffett. And Buffett says, okay, and what are you going to do with the other 20? And Flint says, well, I'll focus on those once I get done with these 5. And Buffett says, no, that's wrong. Those are your avoid at all costs items, because every single second that you spend on that other 20 that you didn't circle is a distraction from the 5 things that truly matter. That is such an important idea. We all, when we have too many different priorities in our lives, too many different goals, are chasing these things that are actually just a distraction from the ones that truly matter, that are truly going to move the needle in our personal or professional lives. So that exercise is one that we can all do. If you take 2 pieces of paper, one for your personal life, one for your professional life, write down all of the different goals you have in those 2 areas, then take 30 minutes to reflect on what are the 3 to 5 most important things in each one of those areas. I would try to do 3 because I don't really believe in 5. Circle those. And then you need to split that into 2 lists to say, the 3 that I just circled are my priorities. This is where I'm going to focus. The other 20 plus are my avoid at all costs items, because every second I spend on those is a distraction from the true things that really matter.
I have a dream of getting to 100,000 subscribers. And it would mean the world if you just hit that button below, the red button, it says subscribe, and it's free for you to do. It would really mean a lot, and it allows us to keep creating this content for you. Thank you.